Hey folks, welcome back to our channel. My name is Solomon. I'm a local real estate agent here in the Vancouver area. I also service the Fraser Valley and Chilliwack. And today's topic is about the cost of living in Port Coquitlam.
Hi, my name is Solomon. I'm a local real estate agent here, and I wanted to welcome you to my channel, living in Vancouver, BC.
Before we jump on into the cost of living in Port Coquitlam, we do have daily content out about buying or selling, as well as living in the lower mainland, Vancouver, Fraser Valley, and Chilliwack. So please subscribe to our channel, like our videos, leave us some feedback. And if you're in the market to buy or sell in the lower mainland, Vancouver, don't hesitate to reach out to our team. Our number is 778-655-7999. Or you could go to our website at searchbcrealestate.com. So let's jump on in right to the video. Alright, so this topic today is about the cost of living in Port Coquitlam. Port Coquitlam is about a 30-minute drive away from Vancouver. It's in the outskirts. It's considered one of the more affordable neighborhoods to buy if you're moving into the lower mainland. For example, if you're in the market to buy a condo as a first-time buyer, you're looking at an average price about $450,000 to get into a condo. If you're upgrading to a townhouse, the average price for a townhouse is $680,000. And if you're in the market to get into a house price in Port Coquitlam starts at $995,000 and it goes up. Now, a lot of people do look at buying a home with a basement suite so they can help with paying the mortgage off. And there's a lot of homes in Port Coquitlam with basement suites. And if you're in the market again, let us know. We can share with you all the top hot deals out here in Port Coquitlam. So the cost of living in Port Coquitlam versus Vancouver, for example, rent prices are approximately 36% less here in Port Coquitlam than they are in Vancouver. Jobs in Port Coquitlam are 10% lower salaried than they are in Vancouver. And surprisingly, restaurants are also very cheap here. So if you wanted to go out and enjoy a nice meal out in a restaurant in Port Coquitlam, they're 30% cheaper than they are in Vancouver. So here's a surprise fact. 30% of people's income is going towards their mortgages in Port Coquitlam compared to 104% of their income going to mortgages in Vancouver. So if you're thinking about renting out here in Port Coquitlam, I'm going to share with you the rent cost. So we'll start with a bachelor unit. So a bachelor unit in Port Coquitlam will start around $800. Now if you're comparing that with Vancouver, it's around $1,100 for a bachelor suite. All right, and if you upgrade to a one bedroom, you're looking at $1,100 a month in rent in Port Coquitlam compared to Vancouver, which is at about $1,400 a month rent for one bedroom. All right, a two bedroom here in Port Coquitlam is now going for around $1,500 a month in rent compared to Vancouver, which will start you at $2,000 a month for a two bedroom. Now for anybody who wanted to rent a three bedroom, you're looking at about $2,000 a month in rent for a three bedroom home. If you're comparing it with Vancouver, Vancouver three bedrooms are going for about $3,000 and up. All right, so let's talk about the cost of living here in Port Coquitlam. So there's electricity, there's hydro, there's internet. For example, electricity is a two-tiered system here in British Columbia. So as of today's date here in late in 2019, the way that electricity is calculated for homeowners is that the first 1,600 kilowatt hours is tiered at a different rate compared to a second rate if you go over 1,600 kilowatt hours. What you're looking at is 10.9 cents for the first 1,600 kilowatt hours. And if you go above that, you're looking at about 14.5 cents per kilowatt hour. Definitely it's a two-tier system, and me personally, I'm under it, and I'm looking at about $60 to $70 a month for electricity. And I also drive an electric vehicle, meaning that I pay approximately what my usage as me and my wife, we pay about $2 a day, it roughly ends up being. To heat the house here in Port Coquitlam, you're going to either use their electricity, or in my scenario, we use gas. We got a furnace, so you're going to be paying for gas services. Now, for gas, roughly for my wife and I, and in my climates like here it is in Vancouver, you're probably going to be paying a bit less than if you're, say, in Ontario or Toronto. You're looking at a gas bill of us, we pay around approximately $100 a month during the winter, and during the summer it's really low. We don't have to leave it on. You're looking at about $30, $40 a month for the gas cost. Now, if you're like me, as soon as I move into a new home, the first thing we ask for is where's the Wi-Fi and the internet service. So in Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, there's two main providers. One is Shaw and the other one is TELUS. So we pay roughly around $60 to $70 a month for basic internet service, and that is enough for our day-to-day use. Port Coquitlam is known for being pretty central. So you have the West Coast Express, you got great transit service. Now if you're looking to use transit system, a single ticket will cost you roughly about $2.75 a ticket, or you can opt and get a monthly pass, which is around $100 a month. If you are going to be using the taxi service, as of today we don't have Uber or Lyft yet, but you're looking at a taxi rate of about $3.50 to start and $1.88 for every kilometer. 75% of residents in Port Coquitlam are commuters and they use their vehicle. So gas here in BC is considered one of the most expensive in all of Canada. So in Port Coquitlam, you can get gas right now as of December 2019. It's $1.35 for every liter. Now, if you are going to go to Costco, it's usually 10 cents cheaper. And that's comparing it to Ontario, it's $1.10, or Edmonton, it's only 88 cents. So we're one of the most expensive places to purchase gasoline here. So if you're like me and you like to balance a little bit of going out for meals and as well as cooking at home, in Port Coquitlam, it's actually going to cost you roughly about $10 for a bit of fast food here. If you wanted to go with a little bit of a mid-range restaurant, 3-course meal, you're looking at about $50 of going out. Now for grocery costs, grocery bills here, for me, it's myself and my wife, we're about $500 a month in Port Coquitlam. And if you were to have a bigger family, then you're probably looking at double the cost every month for groceries, so about $1,000. All right, I'm a real foodie and I love to eat out. So my favorite restaurants in Port Coquitlam, one of them is Kebab House. It's a Persian eatery. It's a small joint, mom and pop shop, and they got some really good kobita with some rice and salad. And my wife and I, we usually go there all the time. So that's just right off Shaughnessy and Lougheed. It's called Kebab House. All right, Port Coquitlam does not have any theaters. So if you're interested to go see a movie, you could drive all the way to Coquitlam or in Pitt Meadows. And usually a cost of a movie ticket here is between $8 for kids to $12 for adults. For the homeowners, property taxes is another big expense to consider when you're thinking about moving to Port Coquitlam. Typical house property taxes are $3,500 a year to about $6,000. And you also have to pay utilities on top of that for water and garbage. So healthcare costs. In all of Canada, healthcare is free. And in the past, in British Columbia, there was the MSP premiums, which as of January 1st, 2020, it's going to be eliminated. So that'll save families $1,800 a year, as well as individuals $900 a year. So some great news for us here in BC. All right, one of the biggest costs of living in Port Coquitlam is childcare. And childcare is $900 typically for one child. Comparing that to Vancouver, it's almost half the price here in Port Coquitlam. All right, one of the last things we'd like to share with you about the cost of living in Port Coquitlam is the household income. So what do people earn here? So household income average is about $85,000 for families. So there you have it, the cost of living in Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. Hopefully you found this information very valuable. If you did have any comments or feedback about the numbers and you think I'm wrong on some of them and you want to correct it, please don't hesitate to leave your comments below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like the video